Hello everyone, welcome again to another video of our channel. Today we are going to talk about the history and the changes that the Austrian GP received through the years to better understand why and how we ended up on the track that we have today. This country GP, the Austrian GP, has been on the calendar since 1963, making it one of the oldest classics on the F1 calendar. After the first race in 1963, it was held again in 1964, and then started an erratic period on the calendar where it was absent from about 6 years. The activity was resumed on 1970, and it lasted up to 1987. And then after this, there was a second period from 1997 to 2003, and then it was out of the F1 calendar for more than 10 years until it was returned in 2014. As you may know, the Austrian GP was not always raced on the actual place where F1 races, and it had two other different locations during its history. The first one, where the Austrian GP was ever held, was the Zeltweg Airfield circuit. The Zeltweg Airfield circuit was an airfield used during the World War that got repurposed in order to be used for racing. The first ever F1 race was a non-championship single event that was held in 1963, and this event was won by the Australian Jack Brabham. The first FIA sanctioned event took place in 1964, where Lorenzo Bandini won his only Formula 1 championship race in a Ferrari. This race was a success because of the facilities, but as the track was narrow and very bumpy, the spectators complained of poor visibility to enjoy the event, and the FIA decided to remove the race from the F1 calendar until it was considered safe to race. And that was the last race held at the Zeltweg Airfield circuit. After this, the event was moved to the Osterreichring. The Osterreichring, which literally means Austrian circuit, in German, was used from 1970 until 1997, and it was also located near Zeltweg, where the airfield circuit was before. And it was built in the scenic Styrian Mountains with the sole purpose of racing, which means this is not a circuit that it was built for something else, as the Canadian GP, for example, that was built for having the Xbox 67, and then it was repurposed. On this case, the Osterreichring was just built for the purpose of racing. It was a fast, flowing track where every corner was high speed and long. And in 1975, the Austrian GP was named for the first time and the last time as the European GP. So when the European GP was on the calendar, it meant actually that the race was going to happen on the Austrian GP. This very fast track was really popular with the drivers, and the events held there were moderately successful. The first race on this track was dominated by Ferrari, which at the time they had a really powerful flat 12 engine, which enabled them to be at least 20 kilometers quicker on the straight, making them really dominant on this racetrack. On 1997, the Formula 1 race was restarted twice due to accidents on the narrow pit straight grid, and after that, this track was also deemed too dangerous by FIA standards because of the number of high-speed corners it had, and the lack of protection from the trees and embankments, and the accidents that happened so many times at the start of the races, because it had a really narrow and confined pit straight. Another problem it faced was also that year by year the top speeds were increasing. As an example, that year in 1997, the pole sitter was Nelson Piquet, who averaged 255 kilometers per hour on his 1100 horsepower on the Power Williams. On that race, Piquet finished second to his teammate Nigel Mansell. And after that, attempts to bring the race back were unsuccessful, and the event disappeared for a decade. In 1995 and 1996, the Osterreichring was refurbished and brought up to date under the name of the A1 Ring. Name it received because the major part of the construction work was paid by the Austrian phone provider A1, which allowed the race to run again in 1997. Since the track is located on the municipal territory of Spielberg, Spielberg was now given as the site of the Grand Prix. The whole layout was redesigned by Hermann Tilke, and the track lost all of its long sweeping corners, and now it features 3 short straights with slow first or second gear corners mostly, which made the track safer and provided more overtaking places. The 2002 event received a lot of negative publicity after the well-known race where Ferrari asked Rubén Barrichello to cede his victory to Michael Schumacher, and it was mainstay after this on the calendar until hosting its final race in 2003, where the race was out of the calendar. And then in July 2013, it was reported that the circuit new owners was now Red Bull GmbH, and it reached an agreement with Bernie Ecclestone at that time to revive the Austrian Grand Prix after another 10-year absence from the calendar that lasted from 2003 up to July 2014. After these negotiations, the race was given a provisional date of July 2014, and finally on 6th of December of 2013, the officially released calendar included the Austrian Grand Prix on it. As I mentioned before, we have 3 layouts on the Austrian GP. The first one, which is the Zeltweg Airfield, was only used in 1963 and 1964, and then the Austrian GP disappeared from the calendar for about 6 years, and in 1970 it appeared again with this layout in a different place near the airfield, but in its own space. There is no difference to remark here because the whole track just appeared all at once. Then we have the 1977 version. There is not much difference here as well. We can see most of the layout is the same. The only difference is that the first corner, which is called the Helalich curve, was now changed in order to be a chicane. This was to prevent cars into going too quick, because if they take this at high speeds, then it's all a really long straight or semi-straight that it's all being done flat out. And then after the big wait from 1987 up to 1996, we have the really big change when the A1 ring was put in place with this Tilke design. And even though it looks like it is the same track, that they put sharper corners, and the length lost about 1.5 meters. and it's really easy to see how much they took out from the track on the next image, where we can see that from 1976 to 1997, as we said, the only change in here was the almost straight, really quick first corner was changed to VDS. And then this A1 redesign, it wasn't just a redesign, they cut 1.5 kilometers from the track, and they built like a small track inside of that one. It is not just that they sharpened the corners, as I said before. It's a new layout inside the old one. We can see this new variant has almost 3 straights with really slow first, second gear corners, and then there is the same inside as it was before that part. So after this, it's not changed up to here. So instead of continuing here, now you have a slow corner coming here, and then another slow corner to come to the straight. And by doing that, they prevent cars into taking too much speed on the straights, because the main concern on this track was high speeds. So after this change, that issue is gone. Let's see now the main differences being on the track. Okay, I'm not being able to find my way out. I think it's we are ready at the track. So this was one of the main problems of this track. This was one of the main problems of this track. It was really narrow, you can see. So it's about 2.5 cars width. This is the S that was added before. Cars continued going through here. So the old layout just hope I don't get scolded. So the old layout just kept going through here. That was used up to 1977, and then they implemented the S. After that, a really quick corner. I'm really used to the new layout, and I feel like how to brake on. There's no need, that's it. It's like a really bad corner, which doesn't need to. You really need to brake. You have lots of line points where you can see where you are. I think it's going, yeah, it's going this straight. We're going further up. Oh, I was about to take. I wanted to take the old layout. So we have the S layout. As we can see, it's a really quick. There's no space. There's no space between the track and the barriers, so it's really easy to go into the barriers, especially because we're going flat out most of the lap. It's good. Bust. No, where am I? Where am I? Why there is? It's some people cheering up. Oh my god. That's pretty bizarre. Okay. So that's the old layout. Let's have a look at the new one. So it will feel like the straights are shorter, because I remove about 1.5 kilometers. In time, maybe it is the same, because the other one was quicker, and this one has been made to be slower. So you have almost all the corners are first and second gear corners. Oh, I have the red light. Yeah, got you. Is that guy from space? What's that? Okay, the track is a little bit wider. The old track, you will continue straight, like over here. The new track is has been shortened. You go right. Now we are cutting on the middle. On my left, really far away, the old track is coming. Now we go again on the old part after this corner. I'm trying to show the target here. So this was a really high speed corner. Coming to the straight. Now it's I think it's for third here. You take it really well, and you can see the difference. The track is really short. Almost 3 corners are the same. Like you do the straight, you brake, second gear, you get it. Second gear. Oh, first. are back again. So it's a really simple turn. The only way to go quick is to risk to get a good exit. So you will see lots of drivers trying to go quicker here and go over this bump, because that's the quickest way. But I think you cannot get away with it every time. You can only use it on the last lap of qualifying maybe, and maybe on the race sometimes. As you can see, it's really easy to go over the limit. And sometimes what we see as well is that they try to cut the corner too much and they go over the yellow bump on the inside. This one, if you go over this one, you move all the car and you probably get a really bad exit. So that's it, the comparison between the two layouts of the Austrian GP. Some history about it, and I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys learned something. If you guys like the content and you would like to see more of it, please subscribe so you don't lose any further videos we might upload. And that's all. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Did you know that every time you watch a video without subscribing, someone crashes at the Nürburgring? Please help stopping this massacre by doing your part.